Hey gang, welcome to episode 11 of Get Help Hangouts. My name is Trevor Beck. I'm one of the hosts here for our show, where we basically are going to be providing you with some great information as a trainer that you can use in your professional development as a trainer. Let's start off with our guests, and we're going to start off on our far right and with Allison, who's muted, but I mean, it looks good.
I know. My name's Allison Malika. I'm a Google certified trainer. I'm here in the Northeast, and I'll see you guys at ISTE.
Excellent. David, you're next. You're also muted.
Hi guys, I'm David. I'm a program manager on the Google for Education team, and I work with...
I don't know, is that just me or did he freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
Oh, David, you want to try that again because you're froze?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm David. I'm a program manager on the Google for Education team. I look after the certified trainer program with Justin, and really excited to see you guys again.
Excellent. Thanks. Next, Nick.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Cusimano. I'm a Google education trainer and other Google things, and looking forward to seeing people at ISTE too.
Justin.
Hey everyone, I'm Justin. I'm a community manager here at Google for Education, and like most of the people on this call, I'll also see you guys at ISTE.
Yes, rub it in. The Canadian can't afford to go down there, so he's going to be watching. So we're going to go through a number of topics here, guys. What I'd like you to do, if you're watching, this is the slide deck, or sorry, the audience Q&A tool that we're using. So if you have any questions, open up a new tab, put in goo.gl/slides/zdqhxs. Just use that, and we'll monitor that. If you got any questions, and we'll bring those forward and try and answer them during the course of the show. While we're doing that, let's take a look at our, come on. Slides aren't working. There we are. So all of our show notes for the shows that we're doing are stored in this folder here. So bit.ly/gethelpshownotes. And in there, you'll find all the links to whatever we're talking about. So if anything that we discuss, if it's not there already, we'll make sure it's there by the end of the show. And that's one of the nice things about having all the show notes in one location. It gives you links to the slide decks that we're using. It gives you links to the YouTube videos, and anything you need, you'll be able to find it there. So our agenda today, what's new? Then we're going to take a look at our free feature presentation. We're going to take a look at some trainer submitted resources, and then we'll do a random share from all of us. And we will also be looking at some shout outs for our different trainers. Let's start off with what's new at Google. For those of you that have been paying attention, one of the really cool things about Google Sites is that you can now duplicate your pages. So if you've got a nice layout and you just want to be able to copy that, you can now just go under the three-dot menu, which is on the right-hand side, and you can just duplicate that. I didn't actually set this up to demonstrate that. Does anyone got something handy, or can we all just assume we all know what I'm talking about? Assumptions it is. That's what we'll do. Okay. So within the page itself, if you have the right-hand column, the page is there. For each page, there's the three dots, or the traffic lights, as some people call it. Just click on that, and there's a new command at the bottom that says duplicate the page. Another cool thing that Google has added is for Google search, it's added a personal option. And what that means is instead of searching everything that you have, it will only search your personal stuff. And in this case right now, it's just Gmail as well as photos. So I can demonstrate this one. So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to search for the Berlin Wall. Whoops, I lost my screen there. There we are. Can everyone see that? And so with this is the same window that we've seen before. But if you go down under More, you'll see a new tab here called Personal. And what it's going to do is it's going to go into my Google Photos, and anything that it's recognized as the Berlin Wall, it's going to display, as well as any emails that I have sent from my Gmail. I suspect that they'll be expanding this to use other applications and stuff as we go along. But this is kind of really nice because now if I just want to focus on those two elements, I can just keep on the personal tab here, and I can keep searching for new items, and I'll still just get that information there. I find that really handy when you're trying to tell someone about vacation you went on and you want to say, yeah, I was at the Berlin Wall or whatever. And then all of a sudden all this stuff comes up. Plus maybe any emails you sent as far as, hey guys, I'm going to go visit the Berlin Wall or whatever. Then at least it brings everything into one location. What's the cool factor on that, guys? 1 to 5. Let's see hands. Okay, we'll just shake our head. Yep, that sounds good. Expedition Pioneer Program. Who wants to talk about that?
I can mention a little bit about that. So at Google I/O a couple of weeks back, the virtual reality and augmented reality team was really excited to announce that they'll be bringing Tango Technologies, which is Google's augmented reality platform, to expeditions, to all expeditions headsets, expedition experiences. So really what the implication here is that now teachers who are part of the Pioneer program, or anyone that wants to join the Pioneer program, which essentially is, taking students on, virtual field trips, can now experience augmented reality through expeditions, which I think is a really cool thing to further engage students and to kind of amplify that experience on Google Expeditions. So I added the link for you guys to learn a little bit more about that update. And yeah, if you're interested, just check it out.
Excellent. Has anyone had a chance to play with the Expeditions Pioneer program? Allison, you were talking about earlier.
Well, I just wanted to mention that there's a sign up right now for schools to sign up, especially if you're in a populated area. And you can commit to 300 students or more yourself with your school, or have a partner school with you together. They need 300 students, but you can then submit an application to have them come to you this fall.
Cool. Very cool. I just started playing around with Expeditions a couple of months ago, and the fact that now that they're talking about doing the augmented layering stuff, that sounds like it could be really, really quite the game changer.
Yeah, I can tell you my adventure with that. We bought a kit for my district and took it to over 3 months, 10,000 students, and they all loved the VR part of it, and I'm sure they would love the other part. A little bit easier to manage, or maybe because you don't have to have it up to your eyes, so that means you can share it more. So excited to see, because device-wise, you could spread that out.
So, what kind of virtual reality elements are you looking at?
So with the Tango technology on expeditions, the devices now can track motion and understand distances and the position in the real world. So as an example, use case I think they showed off is they're actually able to experience the whirlwind of a hurricane, right? If you now through an expedition experience. And so basically it's helping through AR place digital objects in real spaces. So if you guys have ever played with Pokemon Go, right, it's kind of like the same situation, right? Except now we're using it in a classroom setting for pedagogical uses, and rather than just games, right? So you can help, students, gather around the Statue of David, understand like how a strand of DNA as it moves around, and do a lot more interactive experiences through like the technology that's been enabled by Tango. So I think there's a lot of great potential here for classroom, and I know the VR and augmented reality team is really excited to bring this technology first and foremost to the classroom in many ways.
Yeah, I think, sorry, in the video they were showing, I think they had a human heart or some sort of human organ, and that then allowed you to look at from all different angles, kind of like the virtual digital human, just all different things. And I think they had phones and selfie sticks, and I think that's pretty much all they needed to operate in, of course, the app.
I was in London when they first announced that, and I was on one of those bus tours, and all I could think of was, instead of listening to this guy in my ear on these cheap earbuds that hurt your ears and stuff. But how cool would that to be like driving down, a street somewhere and you just hold it up and then all that information that gets fed in is suddenly appearing on the screen. Like you wouldn't even need a tour guide or anything like that. I thought that would be a very cool application.
Yeah, I've seen at least with some other AR applications, and hopefully that'll expand out. But I think it'd be really cool that your students could narrate or tell a story, or you have those trigger points where they hold up their phone and all of a sudden you have the picture of your student there. I know that's probably a little bit of ways, but just thinking ahead for the future of ways students can use it in their classroom.
Well, that's going to change that first day of class where the student says, "Here's what I did during my my summer holidays," and then actually take people on a walkthrough. Sorry, Allison, you wanted to say something.
I was going to mention the opportunities for math and science understanding and engagement is when expeditions first came out. That wasn't the area of strength, and I've seen a lot of new expeditions added that help teach scientific concepts, in terms of the nucleus of a cell and going through chain reactions and scientific and mathematical concepts that weren't there in the beginning. And I think that the AR is going to help complement that as well. So if any science and math teachers were a little not as seeing a lot of resources, there's more there with expeditions now, and I think it's going to become more of a exciting complementary tool in the future for those areas.
Very exciting. Okay, let's take a look at what we got going next. News and announcements. The digital citizenship course on Training Center is coming soon. So from what we were talking about earlier, there's already one in place. I think you were going to talk about that, Dave.
Yeah, Trevor, can you actually refresh this page so we get the full news announcements? I added some things literally as news as we were talking here.
Sure, just give me a sec here.
Cool.
Is that coming through now? How about there?
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get to the digital citizenship in just a bit. But one thing I really wanted to do during this session today was talk about the summertime and how it's such a wonderful moment to do some professional development for teachers to reflect and think about their year. And I think it's a great time to start thinking about becoming a Google certified educator, becoming a Google certified trainer. Now that you have some time and outside of the classroom. So I was hoping to ask you guys, Allison, Trevor, Nick, and maybe even those who are listening in, what are some of your guys' best practices for engaging teachers this summer around professional development? How do you get a teacher to take those very coveted months, of summer from getting rest, but also improving one's practice with technology? What do you guys think? Do you have any tips for trainers out there?
I'll go. I think if you're working within the scope of a district or a school and you want to get some teachers on board to do some professional development, a couple of things. You mentioned becoming a Google certified educator, trainer. Sorry, I know we said turn the phones off, but my son is going to be graduating from Marines soon, and he will get a phone call to me shortly. So I have to be on call. Sorry. So in terms of both have online resources. So you mentioned Google Trainer and Educator. There are online training and resources for that. And you're going to segue into the digital, the program online through CS First. So my suggestion would be to grab them physically for a meetup. It could be at school, it could be at a local coffee shop for just a 10 or 15-minute meetup to go through the resources and put together a plan. And then agree to get back together occasionally. So develop kind of a cohort group. So if you want to do something informal, the resources are there, you can work together, and it won't cost you anything but your time, and you can make it a way to socialize as well. So that's my tip for getting them going.
Awesome. Thanks, Allison. I love the idea of just still meeting up in the summer, even though you don't see your colleagues face to face, trying to organize those as well.
And if you're on my end, we were able last year, we did a partnership with a couple of school districts and came up with Camp Google Waka. And so it's 4 days of us doing 2 sessions in the morning with tiered levels, beginning, intermediate, and advanced, so that they can gain skills and focus on the tools they need. And maybe they're expert at slides but need some help with Google Sheets, so they can adjust how they need to. And we'll be doing that for a second time this year. And the nice part is, so this year, because timing didn't work out with other school districts, we're kind of doing our own. But all the Google certified educators that we trained throughout the year, they are now helping lead sessions. And those then will probably, by the end of the summer, or at least after Camp Google Waka, then I'll be helping them apply for trainer, because they will have some more training experience underneath their belts. And then that gets that group of people together. And if you're able to coordinate with a university near your school district, we have one of ours. So they have to meet like 45 hours of work time or FaceTime, and we get 24 for the week, and then additional work. Some of that being like the search class, so that's like worth 7 hours of their work time, and then they're able to get 3 college credit hours by attending and doing that additional work, helping them plan for the school year and how to integrate what they learned that week.
That's a good point, is that people need to recertify. And I always mention the Google Certified Trainer and Educator program as a way to get your professional development time in, because a lot of states have gone from seat hours, even though you can document time, to a portfolio with a reflection and evidence. And there's certainly enough content and activities built into the training that teachers, whether you attend a Google Educator, boot camp, to actually sit in PD with somebody that leads you, or you do it online, you still can create a portfolio of artifacts. And when you're done and you take that exam, you have all of that. And so you document your time, and you have that for your recertification cycle, depending on the requirements of your state, what you need to provide for documentation. So it's a good PD plan to have if you're a Google school.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 40 plus people signed up right now, and so we're excited to have the week again, and should be a lot of fun.
So Nick, if someone were hoping to create one of these camps, these boot camps, how long would it take? How long would planning take to kind of get that up and going?
So planning, you need to have some sort of registration tool. So you could use Google Forms. I will have it'll take me a couple of days to come up with sessions, meet with the people. I think, if you've got a month or two beforehand, you're fine. And then just coming up with the session. So talk with your people who are going to help lead them and kind of get things in place, and also see what's coming down the way. Because I look what Google was covering last July and what's covering this year, and so we'll have to make some updates. But I always okay, basics of Google Docs and sharing. As much as I'm in that world, I know other people do not live in that world, and I have to remind myself, I have to show them how to share, don't I? And then coming up with, all the great things that are coming up, new things in Sheets and exciting stuff where all the, sites is totally different from last year. All those, just making those updates for those type of things. So if you wanted to do it this summer, you'd still have enough time if you started now to do something in July.
Cool. That sounds good. So for those trainers, if you guys are still looking to create some type of moment or event for teachers this summer, it sounds like a boot camp style event is still possible, even for July or August. Cool. And any other thoughts on training for this summer?
I would suggest Twitter chats and just connecting with other educators. Maybe you have a problem you want solved, put it out there on Twitter or Google Plus and say, hey, I've got this problem I need solved. There's people out there who may have experience in that, and you can schedule some hangouts with them and kind of talk your way through that problem and come up with ideas. I do that, all the time, and got to meet, all different people from all over the world, just trying to solve the problems we have in our classrooms and trying to make things better and engage students, all those different type of things.
Well, and also don't forget we have our own Google group of trainers that you can tap into as well, guys. So make sure, to stretch that out as well.
It depends on if you're looking for grassroots or formalized PD, because there's it also on your education event page. There's all the Google Summits and all of the professional development events that are offered throughout the U.S. as well. So if you're looking for more of an event or a formal type of training, those resources are available on the EDU site as well.
There's lots
and like
of,
what Nick was saying is, you could have your grassroots event set up right at your school.
Yeah, that's a great segue, Allison, into something that I'm really excited to announce for everyone in the community and let everyone know about, which is Google's official kickoff for summertime professional development. So we really observed over the, that teachers love, one, to use the summertime to do professional development, which we obviously encourage, and two, that they love using social media as a way of you mentioned being able to share tips and tricks online with each other. And so marrying these two ideas, we came up with Google PD Week, which is a week-long event that has resources, webinars, events, Twitter chats for teachers to kick off their professional development this summer. And I'm really excited to share with you guys. It's a special preview to certified trainers. It has been officially launched yet, but I would love to show you guys as it will be launched today, later today, and it'll commence, the official week will commence next week. So let me just quickly share with you guys this page. One second as I pull it up.
Tension's building, the anticipation.
It's all part of the plan. Here we go. So if you navigate to the Google for Education events and news page, like the one that Allison mentioned, where it has a host of, usually on this page, you'll see a bunch of events, the full calendar of like things that you can attend for the month of May, right? You see all these boot camps. But starting today, later today, we'll go live with PD Week on this page as well. And so PD Week, like I said, is an opportunity for us all to connect on social media and learn about professional development. The @Google for EDU channel will be hosting this week and releasing just a number of a schedule of chats, a schedule of webinars, and just posts, trying to learn from you guys on what you want to do around professional development as well. A few things just to highlight for PD Week as this week of professional development is first, our events for the week. You'll see that we have 6 total events across the June 5th through 11th. Everything from doing actual professional development, right? You'll see a number of chats here on a number of YouTube live streams around helping you create gamified professional development program at your school, to being able to increase your classroom efficiency, hosted by a certified trainer, to helping trainers figure out how to create and deliver meaningful PD, and expanding the walls of your classroom, meaning how do you create more collaborative classrooms beyond just your own classroom and connect with others outside your school. And we'll also have a Twitter chat around how to prepare for the certification exam as well. So mark these on your calendar. They'll be available later today, and from the next week, June 6th, you'll be able to jump in any of these completely free of cost and just learn around the professional development opportunities that we'll be offering. In addition, we'll also be doing some special promotions for the certifications from June 6th through 12th for PD Week. Just for that week, if you register with these two promo codes, PD Week Level 1 and PD Week Level 2, you'll receive a 50% off and 75% off Level 2 promo code. So obviously you guys have all have these certifications. This is maybe a great way just to, pass on those savings to teachers who are considering these certifications. And so really the call to action here too, I think are, three things for certified trainers. The first is to simply follow at Google for EDU and just start sharing some of the retweets that will happen starting next week. You'll notice that there'll be a lot of new social posts, so just feel free to share, retweet, and get people who are following you to be excited about this as well. Secondly, join some of these certifications, some of these PD Week events, and I think they're really great experiences to also get your own professional development as well. And then lastly, let people know that the promotion exists, that you can receive a special discount for this week. So really excited to have you guys all participate in this week. We'll be sending out a separate email just to trainers, recapping pretty much everything that I just mentioned, and just keep a lookout for this page later today, which we'll be announcing, and stay tuned on at Google for EDU next week for the full slate of resources and events associated with PD Week.
Wow, I can see that I'm going to have a lack of sleep in a little while here.
Yeah, we're going to really this is a pretty big moment actually for professional development on the Google for Education team. Is we have an entire week dedicated to teachers and helping them learn more and leverage all the amazing resources that Google has provided and that certified trainers have provided. So certified trainers out there, if you guys have tips and tricks that you really want to share with an audience beyond just your own school, use the hashtag Google PD Week, which will pass on to you, and then just share that out. And then before you know it, you might just get a few hundred extra followers just because you've had that great tip and trick. So please do get involved.
Okay. I'm getting an echo. Is everyone else hearing that too? Nope, it's gone now. All right. If you got any questions, guys, remember we are taking questions here at goo.gl/slides/zdqhxs. So if you have any questions, by all means, throw them in there. You also have the live chat that's going along in the YouTube stream there, so you can put in your questions there. Those ones are for while we're doing the live show. If you have any questions afterwards, if you're watching the archive, by all means, put them down in the bottom there in the comments field. Any other questions on that, or can we move along? Thumbs up. Okay, we'll move along then. Allison wants to talk to us about Android and Chromebooks. So for those of you that have been lucky enough to grab a Chromebook that supports the Android apps, it's really very cool where you can sit there with your Chrome apps and your Chrome browser, and then all of a sudden you can start making use of these Android apps. And then sometimes I found that the Android apps actually are a nicer experience than the Chromebooks, but that's not always the case. And Allison's going to talk to us more about that.
Okay, yeah. And then don't forget, we want to highlight CS first. Just make a note of that. In regards to the Chromebooks, I think it's been well over a year now, we've been talking about Android is coming to Chrome. And Android has been available for Chromebooks for a while. You can install Chrome apps on your Chromebook and run it just as you would on a tablet. It's pretty exciting. I'm going to do a quick screen share with you, but here's a Chromebook that's ideal in terms of compatibility. So you want to be looking for Chromebooks that flip, that have a touch screen. And I'll highlight one of the new products that's coming out that I'm looking to get my hands on that's not available yet. So quick screen share here. And you see David. And now you see this. So Android on Chromebooks. Students can experience Android on Chromebook now. And you as an admin can set that up. So with any compatible models, you can enable Android for the Chromebook. And if you're using a Gmail account, let's say your admin isn't making it available and you have a Chromebook that's compatible, you can do this with your Gmail account. You can just go into settings and enable it to run the Play Store. So the resources I have in the show notes, including a link to where you can see what Chromebooks are currently supported. And then a link to how to set up the admin panel. So it walks you through all the steps of getting that going. The Chromebook I've got my eye on, there's an Asus and an Acer. I tend to like my laptop's an Acer, so I tend to gravitate toward that. And my Chromebook's an Acer. So I'm running Android on an Acer R11 right now. In 2017, there'll be an Acer Spin 11, for example, available. So this would be one of the premier products that you'd want to be looking at if you're looking for, you know, what's the best thing I can run it on. This would be kind of the latest and greatest. This one features itself as being rugged, has a stylus. It runs Android and Chrome. It has the camera in its typical place, but also on the keyboard. So when you flip it over, it truly runs in tablet mode. And this particular model is also spill and germ resistant. So they've been talking about it for a long time. And as of 2 days ago, I could not find a price on it or where I could buy it. So if anyone else has that information, you can go ahead and pass it along to me first, please. I'd appreciate that. And I did come across this when I was updating my What's Up Google presentation and I can't vouch for, you know, what the program is about, but certainly look into this. So if you have a boatload of Chromebooks and you think, oh my gosh, I want to get some of these newer devices, at least look into Clover Wireless, customers.edu chromebookbuyback.com. And maybe you'll find a resource there that's useful for you. In the show notes, I have a link to a blog post that I created over the weekend because I just felt like people needed to know how to do this. You go into your admin panel, you go into device management, you enable Android. Then you literally have to shop for apps. And once you shop for them, you shop them and you make them available in the admin panel. And then there's an additional step where you need to approve it and configure it. So go through the steps, and then your students will be able to pick from what you provide for them and run that app on their Chromebook. So if you want to know more, you can go to this blog post that explains it in detail and also provides the admin setup and a view of what the student experiences as well.
Allison, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I picked up a Chromebook back in December, and so in order to make use of the apps, I had to put it in developer channel. Do you still have to be in the developer channel to access the?
No, I did not.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And,
On the Chromebook itself?
Well, when at some point I had to go into the settings and say that I wanted to put this in developer mode or developer channel.
You shouldn't need to do that. It needs to run Chrome 53 or later. And then once you turn it on for your domain and the student logs in now, they'll get a pop-up window that says Google Play is now available on this Chromebook, accept and agree. So I guess that step is no longer needed. Oh,
excellent. Nick, you were going to say something?
Just when she showed the Acer and the pins, because I know they've mentioned that like on the Google Apps show, the pen, where you can write on the screen. I think that's going to be really exciting, especially for math teachers and math students, so that they can get in there and show their work. And let's say you're doing a quiz and you're doing it in Google Forms, and like when we had John McGowan with Equatio, boom, You have that all in one spot. You don't need to take a
Right.
picture of your work and then upload that. You can just do it on the Chromebook, and I think that will offer some exciting opportunities, and even more than just math, but just that's what popped in my head.
Yeah, and just want to mention on the stylus, the R11 is available now. So if people want to get their hands on one, they can go grab one in the Amazon store. And it is touchscreen. It doesn't have a stylus, but you can draw on it. So I was demoing Toontastic, and I drew my own characters, my own cat. And it looks like I drew my own cat, but I used my fingertips. So you can use the same types of tools you might use on a regular tablet to draw. The stylus will probably, I would imagine, make it able to integrate with more applications and be a better tool, but you can really get your feet wet with, and I'm not selling the Acer R11, it just happens to be the one I have and have used.
Yeah, that's the one I've got as well. And I also saw things like Explain Everything, which is going to be really easy to do. I mean, it's a great app because it is touch sensitive, whether it's your finger or the stylus, but that's still going to be really handy to use.
Right, and when Google Classroom came out with their ability to annotate on a mobile device, I will show on my phone like how you can annotate a doc on a mobile device. It's a lot easier to annotate a doc on a larger screen tablet than it is on a telephone.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Allison. Does anyone else have any questions?
Just need to get to that CS first. I think we wanted to, I don't know if David or Justin wants to show that or if you want me to, but the page has officially been launched for the CS First curriculum that came out. We mentioned it in the March show in beta form, and we have a Google community of trainers who have been piloting and sharing, but the actual site has been launched. So if you go to the CS First site, you can see everything there. You don't have to go through that back URL of, I'll show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll show you, and then I think I have it up somewhere here. It's in the show notes. So in March, we showed people how to go to g.co let's create, because this site hadn't been launched yet. So now when they go to csfirst.com, it'll bring them to the digital skills curriculum area, and it will highlight that curriculum, ask them whether they're a student or an educator, and they can get started right away. So you can preview the curriculum, or you can get right in there and set up a class or join a classroom. So if you wanted to see the lessons and see what the curriculum looks like, you can do that. And it's got, it's broken it down. It's taken, the team has taken some feedback and covered like, what's this suitable for? What's the best use? What's covered in the unit? How many activities are included, and then approximately how long it should take to complete it. Now, if you haven't been in here to take a look around, I encourage you to do this, because this would be one of the cohort groups I do with my colleagues as part of summer PD. Everybody loves videos. Everybody loves to learn from a multiple means of communication. So here we have the ability to play the video and adjust the playback speed. And it will really walk you through like a background on the topic with examples. It will tell you what you're going to do and show you how to do it. It's a really good program. So I wanted to highlight that that is now available. And if you are a Google education trainer and you want to share some ideas on how you can integrate this with your school, we have a Google Plus community linked here, the community cohort group. So if you go to that, we've got resources and Q&A and looking for ways and ideas on how you're integrating it with your students, or how you might be using it with other teachers to lead PD at your school.
That's really neat that you've got that cohort that was so eager to get started when we announced that. And how's the participation been with it?
It's been really good, because a lot of times it's hard to get those things going. But I've found that people are in there asking questions and sharing, and I get new requests to join every day. And so it's a good place to go and share. And I would encourage people to go in and share ideas in the spirit of the PD week, or even in the PD chats this week, using the social media channels to maybe share some ideas on how this is being used or can be used, and some of your favorite topics or activities.
Excellent. Good on you. Thank you very much for that. We got a couple
You're
of
welcome.
questions I just want to address real quick here. I'm just going to pull them up on the screen here. So first question, is this live next week only? Is it recorded and available all summer? Once this presentation is done, it's archived at the same page, so it'll be there until, until YouTube goes down, hopefully. So it'll be there forever.
And Trevor, she might be also asking about the Google PD Week events.
Oh, well then I can't address that directly. David?
Yep, the PD Week events will all be live next week starting on June 5th. The official week will be from June 5th through 11th. And so, yeah, all the events will be on a schedule for you guys from that page, and you can add them to your calendars. And all of those YouTube live streams will be recorded for posterity.
That was the word I was looking for, posterity.
I'm sure the Twitter chats or those other ones, they'll use some sort of tool to share that out also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Google's done this once or twice before. Other question is, if a teacher uses the promo code, do they need to take the test right away or when they are ready?
Hashtag save money.
Love the hashtag save money. That's hashtag saving money here. So yes, the teacher, if the promo code is good for registration. So as long as you register within the week, you'll be able to take the exam. So I believe the registration is, the code is valid from literally today, actually, I believe, through, I think, June 12th, is it, Justin? Right?
Yeah, Monday, June 12th.
Monday, the June 12th. So as long as a teacher registers for the exam using that promo code, the discount will apply. But please keep in mind that the normal rules for taking the exam still apply, meaning they need to take that exam within 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the registration fades away, and they'll need to re-register under the current discount available, or the current normal pricing too.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
So with that, you're looking probably, you need to be done by the 19th or 20th with your testing.
Well, I mean, if you register today with the level 1, you could take the exam within the 7-day window, right? Mm-hmm. You could take it any day this week. But if you registered on the last day of PD week, June 12th, then yes, correct. You need to take it by June 19th.
So you have like from today to the 12th to register, and the week after that, but the latest you could take it, if you registered on the 12th, would be the 19th.
Yeah, it all when you take it really all depends on when you register, right? And so the basic takeaway, register.
It's such a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Yeah, do it right away. You get your deal, and your mindset should be pre-test, schema, experience. Like, don't ever go into a testing situation and feel like if you don't pass the first time, it's a drama. Now you have schema. And now you know all the nuances of what it's like to take the test, and you can take it again later. But it's a great deal no matter what. I think it's also taking the exam is training in itself. When you take that exam and you go through all those tasks, you're not just testing yourself, you learn a lot of things. You're thinking critically, your skills are being put to use, you're active learner. So all sorts of benefits come from the experience. I would say it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And a good way of kind of like framing this as well, in terms of retaking it, is now that it's at 50% off, you can take it twice for the price of a full exam. Right? And so earlier in the week and you fail, whoop-de-doo.
For the price of one.
For the price of one, exactly. And the level 2 discount is also really great. That's 75% off the price, which I think that really means you can almost take it 3 times for the price.
And I know we're talking to trainers who have taken the exam already, but can you please, trainers, please let your level 1 people know that half of the battle is taking the level 1 test. So they're already, halfway prepared for level 2 before they do anything. And it's not like, oh, it's level 2, I have to put it off. I see so many folks who are level 1 putting it off, and I encourage you not to. It's really, you've done a lot of work achieving level 1 status, so grab that level 2 while you can.
Yeah. Take the momentum you have from level 1 and apply it to level 2.
Don't stop.
Agreed.
Okay. We have 15 minutes left here. I'm just going to quickly take a look at our agenda. We're going to cover some trainer submitted resources because, hey, it's important that you guys get recognized for the work you do. We're going to look at some random shares that we picked out and then some shout outs. So let's start off with our trainer submitted resource. This looks really interesting. Allison, you put this in. You want to tell us about this?
Oh, The Amazing Race?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Last year, The Amazing Race is a very popular concept. It's presented at, many, I think, teacher academies. And that's sometimes the first time that Google innovators or trainers learn about it and then share. So David Saunders and Josh Gauthier, 2 Google certified innovators from MTV 14. GTA MTV 14, Google Teacher Academy, Mountain View, 2014. So they were at Teacher Academy together. They are both Google certified trainers. And last year they presented The Amazing Race at the ISTE conference. So I wanted to share that resource with them because a lot of folks might want to know what is the Amazing Race? What does it mean in terms of training and engagement? It's a lot of fun to put together a presentation like this. It's a lot of fun to participate. So if you're ever at an event and somebody's presenting an amazing race, so go ahead and participate. You'll have a lot of fun. And it's a great way to also set up your training to be engaging and somewhat thrilling.
And just a reminder to everyone that, as trainers, you have to submit something every year into that resource, but that's there for you to go looking and to find some ideas, to borrow ideas, making sure, of course, that you're going to give recognition to whoever materials you may be using. But I mean, there's wonderful stuff, everything there from slides to different videos to docs to whatever. So whenever you're kind of stuck for an idea, that's part of being the trainer. Go to that resource and look at what people have shared with each other. Next item, random share. Oh, I guess I can talk about this real quick. So there is, because we're coming up to the end of the year, there is an article I found here. It's got the 6 end of year Google Classroom cleanup tips. So everything on, ways of archiving that classroom, what to do with those assignments, all sorts of things. It's a great little article. It's definitely worth taking a look at. There's also a video that I did on importing data from one Google sheet to another. So we've always, as in our Google group, we always see this. How do I get data from one spreadsheet to another spreadsheet? This video, just 3 minutes long, I think, takes you through the steps, how to use the import range function to pull that data from one spreadsheet to another, so you can have different sharing settings for one sheet versus sharing the 15 different sheets that are all in the one document. Lots of cool ideas that people have had, but it basically starts off with, how do I get that data out of there into this other spreadsheet?
And I just wanted to touch real quick on, as we're starting to use Team Drive, one lesson that I've learned over the time is when you create those Team Drives, it defaults to full editing properties, and you want to switch that down to edit, because we had a teacher who deleted the final, and we had to do some magic to get that final back because the creator of the Team Drive had given everyone full rights, and you just want to put that to edit. And what full does is allows them to adjust, make changes, but not delete files. And I shared a link on there. Luckily, we're able to use those things built in with Google Vault and Team Drive to reactivate what was in there. But that was kind of scary for that teacher I got a call about.
That's
well, it's a good point, because the new features come out and a lot of times people rush to use them and without really understanding all the nuances of it. So it's good to get educated on it.
I shared the links from Google's Learn How To page with Team Drive, and you can also experiment with the settings, because a lot of us trainers are also the Google admin, so you can create a role. Like I created a role where people can transfer the whole folder over to Team Drive, but I think with that part, you just have to have that discussion. You are in control of this. You need to manage this, because just remembering those things. And luckily, no one was hurt and we were able to get it back, but it was definitely scary there for an hour or two.
I think that would be a good discussion to have later, to talk about where Team Drive is effective and where maybe it's not as effective use cases, especially when you're trying to, like, I know when you're trying to share a subfolder, you can't just share it the same way that you can a normal folder in a drive. And I know, talking with some of the people that I've dealt with, it's the same thing. They're like, "Oh, I can just make it available." It's like, well, no, you can't. You can't share your folders the same way you do, because right now, the only way you can change some of the sharing settings is the actual document level. And I'm sure that'll get changed. But I mean, again, like I said, there's
you
the
can
use
do
case
that at the admin level now. You can determine who can move folders. It's not an open thing yet, so you can determine that.
Okay.
But you have to create that as a role. So I have the role that I had to create called Team Drive Managers, and then I just add people there. And the only thing they can do is, the only rights they're given special about that is they can move folders, instead of it being a super admin. But
right.
it does allow, great for if you have curriculum coordinators, those district level, those department level chairperson, principals, people who are at least in some sort of management position or in charge of a group that's under them or managing a group.
Oh, excellent. Well, we'll definitely have to talk more about that. That's it for today. So, I mean, unless anyone has any other comments or something they want to make sure that they get out, I think we're pretty much done our agenda.
Justin.
Oh, Justin?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to welcome, because last Friday we onboarded new trainers to our program, and I onboarded 118 new trainers, 27 of them being international. So this is one of our biggest months that we've onboarded. So I'd like to say welcome to all of those trainers. And then also the Google for Education team will be at ISTE. So we're looking forward to seeing you all there as well.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you.
So the next show will be after ISTE, right? Post ISTE?
I think it's going to be on Thursday, the 22nd of June. So I believe, is that ISTE?
Oh, that's the week before.
Is it?
Yeah, I think ISTE will be the week of the 26th. So if we're going to meet on the 22nd, that will be the Thursday before ISTE.
Well, then stay tuned and we'll figure out when we're going to actually meet, because we want to make sure that we get information from ISTE, because which one of you guys are going to be there? Show of hands.
I will.
So Nick,
I'll be there.
Okay, so those guys will be joining us live from ISTE. So we'll figure out whatever the date is and make sure we post that ahead of time. Other than that, thanks so much.
I think there's a lot of trainers that can't go to ISTE, so they'll be looking for, I know, all those announcements after on the next show. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm looking forward to the announcements.
Sounds
all right,
good.
thank you guys.
Okay. See you guys in June.
All right. Bye, everyone.